Totem Pole Nation, who are the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season? Coach Lambo, how are you doing today?
You know, we're blessed here. We're at the campus of Virginia State, big state, the Trojans. We just had a youth camp for the kids, the middle schoolers and stuff like that. So, it's great to give back to the community, help others, change lives, and build champions.
Noah, thank you for joining us today. This is for you.
It's got to be a mentality. Yes, so when you come out here, you're ready to dominate.
Number 32 on the list. Top cornerbacks in the NFL today. Number 32, Dron Bland, cornerback, Dallas Cowboys. Bland missed the first 10 games of the 2024 season due to injury after a 2023 campaign in which he broke the NFL record for pick sixes. Wow. His PFF advanced coverage grade wasn't great, even though his standard PFF coverage grade over the past 2 seasons ranks 6. So, Coach Lambo, Dron Bland, Dallas Cowboys. How do you feel about him being number 32 on the list? How do you feel about the Dallas Cowboys going into this NFL season?
Well, they definitely got a C plus type of roster when it comes to the defensive side and the secondary. So, I mean, Dron Bland, he has some hits and flashes, but he's not as consistent as he once was. Now, Pro Football Focus is correct by having him at number 32, just because, he missed out on 10 games. So, as much as film and stuff comes out, it's not really much you can determine, based off only playing the last 7 or 8 games of the season. So, like I said, the Cowboys are going through a change of a new defensive coordinator. They're going through a change of a new head coach. And like you said, cornerback is the hardest position to play. You got to be able to be physical. You got to be long. You can't be a short corner. So it's a tough position to play. But at the end of the day, this game of the NFL has changed. It's more of an offensive game. So you can't be as physical as you once was.
Number 31 on the Pro Football Focus, top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season, Kamari Lassiter, cornerback, Houston Texans. There were several great rookie corners in 2024, and Lassiter's was arguably right behind those of Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. He ranked 3rd among rookies in PFF advanced coverage grade and 15th among all cornerbacks. He also led the NFL with a 45.2% completion rate allowed. What do you think about Kamari Lassiter coming in at 31 from the Houston Texans?
Well, I mean, he's just a rookie. So, based off the eye test, because we always want to look at the eye test, he did what he had to do as a rookie. DeMeco Ryans has built a good system with the Houston Texans, a former defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. He's really established the defensive side of the ball. I think the things I like about Lassiter that he's physical at the line of scrimmage. He's good at seeing the ball and things like that. But we just need more of him. We'll see how he could develop himself as a sophomore going into the NFL. But I mean, other than that, everything should be good. The Houston Texans will be better. They'll be better all around. And that starts on the defensive side of the ball. Because if you can't cover in the NFL, you're not going to win a lot of games.
Number 30 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season, Kenny Moore II, Indianapolis Colts. Coach Bald, let's go Totem Pole Nation. Thank you for checking in, Coach Bald. Coach Bald, this is for you. You are the president of Totem Pole. Thank you for having us back on. Number 30, Kenny Moore, the Indianapolis Colts. Moore is one of the better slot corners in the NFL, ranking 18th in PFF advanced coverage grade and 21st in standard PFF coverage grade over the past 2 years. He does well to limit separation, but has allowed 11 touchdowns in that span, the 5th most in the league. Kenny Moore the second, the Indianapolis Colts. Coach Lambeau, how do you feel about Kenny Moore coming in at 30th on the list and the Indianapolis Colts?
Well, I mean, at some point, you just got to be consistent. But not saying corner is hard, but especially it's harder in the slot because you're either guarding a fast wide receiver or a tall wide receiver, or sometimes you have to guard a tight end. So all that stuff of giving up touchdowns just comes out to technique. Like, what is your technique? Why are you giving up on those touchdowns? But let's look at the whole team of the Indianapolis Colts. They weren't that great as last year. That wasn't because of AR5 or Anthony Richardson, according to EA Sports Electronic Arts, Madden NFL 26. But I mean, when it comes to Kenny Moore, like I said, Kenny Moore will be okay. Now, does he actually fit the system of the Indianapolis Colts? We'll figure that out when that comes up, this year or whatever he's at. But it's just cornerback is a position that you just really have to fit. And in today's game, it's hard to get corners like the New England Patriots used to have back then, where you had like a Ty Law, or when you had like a Aqib Talib, or Asante Samuel. So, I mean, when it comes to this guy, I think he'll be okay and he'll do better. But it's all around the structure of the Indianapolis Colts. What is the structure going forward? Rest in peace, Jim Irsay. I think the daughters is owning the team now. So we just got to look at the direction of the team itself and where is it going to go. Shane Steichen is on the hot seat this year.
Number 29, one of the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Shanetta McLean. I hope the Panthers pick up the Packers' former cornerback. Lambeau, is there any chance, would that be a good landing spot for Alexander to land with the Carolina Panthers? Will Shanetta get what she wants for her Carolina Panthers?
Well, you got to look at the Carolina Panthers cap space. I mean, they did get some. They did trade for Brian Burns, I think, if I'm correct. I don't know how much cap money they have left to sign Jaire Alexander. The reason why the Packers released Jaire Alexander is probably because he want more money than the Green Bay Packers can pay him.
We have another comment. Lambeau. AJS says that Alexander should go to the Giants. AJS. Are you a New York Giants fan, AJS? AJS says the Giants could sign to a low deal. AJS also said, or I bet the Cowboys sign. AJS said yes. Lambeau, where would a good landing spot be for Alexander? AJS says he bleeds blue. AJS, this is for you. Thank you for commenting. AJS, this is also for you.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs. Yeah.
Let's go out there like a bunch of crazed dogs. Shanette, heck yes, with besides how Horn Jr., he'll be a great vet to him. So, Lambeau, where do you think Alexander will land?
Well, if he wants to win a Super Bowl, land with the Kansas City Chiefs, because they did lose. I think they lost Snead, I think last year or 2 years ago. I think Jaire Alexander will be a perfect fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know that the problem was the offensive line, but you still have Steve Spags as the defensive coordinator. You could use another dominant corner on the other side for the Kansas City Chiefs. If it's not the Kansas City Chiefs, it could possibly be the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys always need help. But it's all about how much money are you willing to pay these guys.
AJS. Hot take. Malik Neighbors wins the Triple Crown. Arthur says, not KC, go to the Rams. The Rams. Arthur is saying that the Rams is the landing spot for Alexander. And what do you think about his hot take of Malik Neighbors wins the Triple Crown?
Well, I mean, you got to have consistent quarterback play. And the consistent quarterback play starts with Russell Wilson or it starts with Jameis Winston. And then if those two don't succeed, you have Jackson Dart. So it's all about the process of the quarterback when it comes between the Giants and the quarterbacks and Brian Daboll and what they got going on. But I don't know. The quarterback situation has got to be really good this year for Malik Neighbors to win Triple Crown.
Continuing with the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season, we have a comment from AJS. Russell Winston was hecka consistent in Pittsburgh. So Russell Wilson was consistent. I think that's one thing Russell Wilson has been his entire career out of Richmond, Virginia, our hometown. So I agree with you on that, AJS. Byron Murphy Jr. coming in at number 29 on the top 32 corners from the Minnesota Vikings. Murphy has turned a middling start to his career in Arizona into better play in Minnesota and is coming off a career year in 2024. We have some comments here. Brian Bauer says, go Birds. And I'm assuming that's the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. Brian Bauer, thank you for commenting. Brian, this is for you.
Woo!
Trenton Sampson, thoughts on Golden, Rookie of the Year. Will Golden be the Rookie of the Year, Lambeau?
That would depend on how many reps he will play. That would depend whether he makes the team or not. And there's a lot of other candidates out there for Rookie of the Year. You could put Cam Ward in there as a quarterback. You could, mainly the Rookie of the Year stuff mainly goes to offensive players. It's going to be hard to go to sometimes a wide receiver or sometimes a defensive back or a defensive end. It normally goes to offensive players.
Trenton, do you think that Golden will win Rookie of the Year? And Brian, do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles will go back-to-back? Number 29 on our list, Byron Murphy, Jamon Event, Travis Hunter will be Rookie of the Year. 50 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Lambeau, Travis Hunter, Colorado, Travis Hunter, Collins Hill High School, Travis Hunter, Jackson State, Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you think about Jamon's take of Travis Hunter being Rookie of the Year after just winning the Heisman at Colorado?
That's not going to happen because if he plays both positions, he's probably going to get hurt. He has to build up. He has to build up muscle, in order to not even to succeed playing both positions, because playing both positions is possible. Obviously, he's not a comparison to Deion Sanders, and I'm not being disrespectful, but that's not sustainable. You can't play half the snaps here and half the snaps on defense. So I guess if Travis Hunter sticks to one position, that's a possibility. But right now, no, that's a long shot. The Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen at Jacksonville Jaguars better have a great season for that to happen.
Trenton said he will be the Packers' number 1 receiver. Travis Hunter won't be first on the Jags. Jamon, do you think that Travis Hunter will play both ways? Number 29 on our list, Lambeau, is Byron Murphy Jr., Minnesota Vikings. What do you think about Byron Murphy Jr. being at number 29?
I like the way Brian Flores has established that defense for the Minnesota Vikings last year. Like I said, the Minnesota Vikings, I did say they were the best team in football last year. They were 5-0. I know they lost two straight, and then they finished the season 14-3. Brian Flores was a good hire by the Minnesota Vikings. Ownership and Kevin O'Connell. So I think when it comes to him as well from the Minnesota Vikings, it's more than just that. They've always had good linebacker depth. They got great DNs. They're gonna bring pressure. And I like the way that Brian Flores is aggressive. He's trying to show a way if he's ever gonna get a head coaching job in the NFL. I mean that's up to him, or that's up to the league, or whatever it is. But I think Brian Flores, he was the coordinator for the Patriots under Bill Belichick when we won that Super Bowl. So I think he's gonna be a machine and he's gonna be great.
Main Event says Travis Hunter will play both ways. I do think he gets hurt unless he's an absolute machine, which I think he will be. Main, this is for you. You get a helmet sticker. Thank you for commenting on the chat. Shanette, Carolina Panthers has interviewed the Packers about him a year ago since he's a free agent and has age. The Panthers have a great shot of picking up Alexander. The Carolina Panthers have decent cap space. DCL in the house. DCL, this is for you. Noah said, I miss the golden days when y'all would stream Madden and NCAA. Yes. Noah, this is for you, Noah. You're a Chiefs fan. This is for you.
It's got to be a mentality. Yes, sir. So when you come out here, you're ready to dominate.
Main Event says, thank you, guys. I love sports. Well, you're at the right place. We are the low man on the totem pole. And people are always like, well, why are y'all that? Because we're not ESPN. We're not Barstool. We're not Fox Sports. We are just common guys that love sports. And we have some experts that watch these streams, and you guys are amazing. Thank you, Main, for being a part of the team. McLean says, Panthers going to make great jumps offensive and defensively this year. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. DCL, we're still in the golden days. DCL says the low men on the totem pole. Yes, we are. Ms. McLean says, I am from Richmond, Virginia as well. That is great. I used to be the head football coach at L.C. Byrd High School and Meadowbrook High School and Amelia County High School. Noah, we're the low man on the totem pole. Yes, we are. This ain't ESPN. You're not looking at Dave Portnoy, and that ain't Stephen A. Smith next to me. We're the low man on the totem pole. I don't even know how we got on here. Why did Totem Pole even let us back? Owen says, can I have your opinion and what you think the Saints will do for their quarterback one? Owen, that's a great question. Can Kellen Moore get a quarterback that he's already worked with? I mean, is there a backup? Because he was with the Eagles. He was with the Chargers. He was with the Cowboys. Is there a backup that he can get? I mean, they drafted the kid, what's his name, Lambeau?
Tyler Show.
So what do you think, Owen? I mean, what do you think about Owen's question, Lambeau? What will the New Orleans Saints do about quarterback this year under first-year new head coach Kellen Moore?
Well, I think the cap space is, hit because of the Derek Carr contract. But we have to see what happens with Kellen Moore and how he's going to develop a team. We don't have all the answers yet on how he's going to develop the team yet. Like I said, they play the NFC South. They play in a not so competitive. They played a competitive conference, but it's it's competitive and then it's kind of weak. So we're gonna have to see how he does, how he does well with the ownership and things like that. But I think other than that, he's gonna be just fine. I think you got to give him to about year 2 or year 3 for him to really turn around the program.
Owen, who do you think starts at quarterback? We said yesterday that the Saints, well, I said it, the Saints will draft Arch Manning next year, number 1 overall. So put it in the comments, Owen. Who do you think starts at QB1? We got a lot of comments, and we're going to make sure we read them all. Deal with it Sports, thank you for commenting. And I'm going to give you a helmet sticker because I don't think you've commented before. Thank you, brother. Deal with it Sports says the Detroit Lions still has it. I'm telling you. They may have lost the coordinators, but Lambeau up in Detroit, what are your thoughts? I mean, has the wild man maniac head coach, has he built that franchise strong enough to be able to lose both coordinators?
Yeah, I mean, the foundation was already there when he first got there. They got the veteran presence. They still got the quarterback. They still got the wide receivers they paid. You're getting Aiden Hutchinson back after a broken leg. You still got Panay Sewell. So you still got, a bunch of, big guys out there, So I still think they're going to win the NFC North. It's going to be between them and possibly the Minnesota Vikings, but they're going to be just fine. But it's going to be harder for them to make it back to the, divisional round or the NFC Championship. It's going to be very, very hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be and with the schedule, they might win less than 12 games last year. They might go to about 11 or 10 game season this year.
DCL says regular men who coach and give advice to achieve their goals. Totem Pole has a very similar philosophy that me and Coach Lambeau has, and that's to help others change lives and build champions. J main event, which playoff team misses the postseason this season? I don't know. The Commanders are going to have it tough, man. And I used to be a Commanders fan, a Redskin fan. Who do you say, J main event? Lambeau, who do you think doesn't make the playoffs that made it last year?
Who doesn't make the playoffs? The only thing I think in my head.
You said the Steelers yesterday. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, it would be the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys that won't make the playoffs.
Did the Cowboys make it last year?
No, they were 7-10.
Okay, he said what playoff team misses it the postseason this season? So you're going to say the Steelers.
Probably the Steelers. Just because of that tough division they're in.
DCL says Easton Stick as their quarterback for the Saints. Question mark. J main event, Vikes and lines have been beefed up. They both scare me. McLean says, I saw you before I wrestled for Meadowbrook and Armstrong High School. Nice. Yeah, I'm all around Route 10. Deal with it Sports. Will the San Francisco 49ers, coached by Coach Shanahan, do better this year on a defensive standard? Deal with it Sports. Will the 49ers be better since they signed their quarterback, Brock Purdy, to a long-term deal?
Yeah, if everybody's healthy. They're going to be better than a 6-10 or 7-10 team they were last year. They're going to be a lot better. You got Brock Purdy to a long-term contract. You still got, George Kittle. You still got Brandon Ayuk. You drafted very well in the NFL draft. You still got a great running back, a great offensive line. They'll be fine. They're not going to go back-to-back and miss the playoffs. They're going to be competitive. They're going to make it far in the NFC playoff picture.
Deal with it Sports. What do you think? Do you think that San Francisco will do better without Debo? Bologna sauce prods. What's up? Bologna Sauce Prides, this is for you. Thank you for joining the stream. DCL said he worked with Stick. Laugh out loud. Kenneth Kelder says, hey, Kenneth, thank you for joining. I think this is your first time. This is for you. Owen Gale says, Spencer Rattler starts. Then the backup, Tyler Shoe. Or Show. How do you even say his name, Lambo?
Show.
Show. J-Mon event. Yep. Detroit steady. Built over years. They are built Ford tough. The Detroit Lions are built Ford tough. McLean says, excuse my typing. That's okay. We can't spell either. Deal with it sports said, yeah. Deal with it sports said Steelers. Deal with the sports thinks that the Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, will not make the playoffs. J main event. Steelers, Tomlin's first under 500 team. Wow. Deal with it sports. No, they did not. Ms. McLean, Bronco won't make. McLean says that the Broncos won't make the playoffs this year. Deal with the sports. Maybe not sure, but defense needs to lock down. Deal with the sports says no. Ms. McLean says, and the Bucks not making it either. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is not going to make it. Matthew B says hello. Matthew, that's your first time, I think, commenting. You get a helmet sticker. J main events out. How often do you guys go live? We're going to be going live at 1 o'clock, 5 days a week. This summer, and then we're also going to be live streaming the NBA Finals, and we've been doing that. J main event, doing a great job reading our crap. No, you guys are the star. You guys are the star of the show. Y'all are the experts. We're just lucky enough Totem Pole allowed us to come back. We are the low man on the Totem Pole. Mr. Hugo, I think this is your first time commenting. You get a helmet sticker. Mr. Hugo says Pittsburgh Steelers lose in the AFC Championship game against the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to pass this over to Lambo because I think that right there will get Lambo fired up a little bit. Mr. Hugo, that's a hot take. He's saying the Steelers lose to the Bills in the AFC Championship game.
Oh, they won't even get there. They'll probably lose in the wild card round just because the offensive line isn't good enough. And every time they make the playoffs, I mean, they hadn't got better as a team. Like every time they make the playoffs, they go 9-8, and they don't make a difference. So they're not going to make the playoffs at all.
Mr. Hugo must believe in Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers. Benjamin says, sup, Benjamin. I think that's your first time commenting. This is for you. Hey, without y'all, Totem Pole Nation, we would just be sitting here talking to ourselves. I mean, we could FaceTime each other and talk, but it's y'all's show. Ms. McLean, Panthers probably make it to the wild card. The Carolina Panthers make it to the wild card. That's great for them, though. Been short past 5 seasons. This is their year. J-main event. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a good one. I believe in Baker a little still. Lambo, will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make it to the playoffs again?
Oh yeah, because Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's been through two offensive coordinators in 2 years. Baker Mayfield was out of Texas Tech, walk over at Texas Tech, played at Oklahoma, became a first round draft pick with the Cleveland Browns in
Heisman
2018.
Trophy winner.
Yep, Heisman Trophy winner. Look, the Buccaneers are fine. You gotta look at the establishment that Todd Bowles has brought after Bruce Arians retired and won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. They got Mike Evans. They still got Chris Godwin. They got Ott to tight end. They got a great defense. Look, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be great. We are just ready for the NFL season. But I'm also excited for Baker Mayfield because Tampa Bay Buccaneers is Coach Bald's team from St. Pete Rejuvenate, St. Pete, Florida. Those Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South.
Matthew B. says the Pittsburgh Steelers defense will be horrible a little bit this year. TJ Watts ain't showing up to camp. Deal with it, sports. Will the Minnesota Vikings bounce back from the playoffs? Deal with it, sports. What do you think? Lambo, will the Vikings bounce back from the playoffs with their new starting quarterback, J.J. McCartney?
It's going to be hard to do with a rookie quarterback, but we're going to have to see how that goes. But they're going to have to really rely on their defense. Brian Flores is really going to have to step up and rely on his defense. Kevin O'Connell knows how to make the adjustments. By the way, you still have Aaron Jones, if I'm correct, and you still have Justin Jefferson. So you're going to be just fine. I don't know how far you're making in the playoffs, but we'll see what happens.
Owen Gale, in your opinion, should the Denver Broncos beefed up that secondary more and get Jaire Alexander? Lambo, should the Broncos, they already have one of the best corners in the NFL, should they add Alexander to their secondary? And what do you think, Owen?
Let's see. I mean, the Denver Broncos still got a messed up cap space, if I'm correct. I mean, aren't they paying the head coach a lot of money, number one? Number two, are they still paying that ridiculous contract? I don't know.
They got Walmart money. They got Walmart money.
Yeah, but are they still paying that big, ridiculous contract from when they signed Russell Wilson to all that money? They're still paying him. So I like the fact that you'll have two lockdown corners, Patrick Surtain and Jaire Alexander. But it really just comes down to how much does he really want to sign for? Is he going to sign for less money that he is worth to win? But if I'm him, I'll go to the best place going to win. I'm not saying the Denver Broncos won't win. I'm just talking about competing for Super Bowls. Denver Broncos are not there yet. Give Bo Nix and Denver Broncos at least one more year, and we'll see how good and efficient the Broncos are going to be. They're playing in the AFC West. I mean, the AFC West is them, the Chiefs, and the Chargers. That's going to be tough.
Main event. Bills to the Super Bowl. Ha, ha. Got to show me. Main event. I like the underdogs, though. Yes, we are the underdogs because we kind of got sick of Barstool. We got sick of Dave Portnoy. Main event, yeah. So we're the answer. McLean says, nah, they're not getting past the Panthers. Y'all, they're in the same division. Deal with it. Sports said no. Chris Coleman, Ravens need Alexander. Chris Coleman, I think that's your first time comment. Thank you. You see Alexander going to the Ravens, Lambo?
It's not a bad drop off. Yeah, get AFC opponent. You got second-year defensive coordinator Zachary Ford. John Harbaugh has always been a big fan of defense. It's not a bad, like I said, that's not a bad landing spot. That's a chance of a possibility because, their defense really let them down in whatever situation it is. And then we go from there.
Main event. Do you guys do like prize picks at all? Type of thing. Just asking. Do we do prize picks, Lambo?
No. No prize picks.
What does that mean? That we pick the games?
I mean, prize picks, you pick the play. Prize picks, you pick the players that score a certain amount of points or assists or touchdowns and things like that.
Okay. Chris Coleman says the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens. Main event. I know everybody don't like to bet. We like to bet. That's why we don't do it. But I tell you, Coach Ball does, and the man from Seoul. So yes, they do. They do it. Deal with it, sports. Will Sheldon get traded? Will Sheldon get traded, Lambo?
Was he a defensive end, Sheldon? Like, what's his first name? Or is it Will Sheldon?
Must be Will Sheldon.
I gotta do more research on that before I can speak on it.
What do you think? Deal with it, sports. So Main event, yes. Paul, that's on here on Totem Pole, and Coach Ball, the president of Totem Pole, they do gamble. Trash Channel 1970. I think that's our channel. Trash Channel. God, I miss football. No fun sports on now. That's why we're on here talking about the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL and talking to the chat. We miss football. This is for you, Trash Channel. McLean says the Carolina Panthers have top 10, or you can argue about top 5 offensive line coming into this season. And on the other side, Derek Brown coming back. He's top 5 defensive tackle. Main event said anything like that? Yeah, got it. Shador, sorry. Do we think they're going to trade Shador Sanders? The Cleveland Browns trade Shador? I don't think so, dude. I think they got one with him in the 5th round.
That's a steal because you're not paying them that much money anyway. So I wouldn't trade them, no.
Main I think they might wait a year or two, if they get another quarterback the same way they did Milton, the Patriots. But I think it's a good point. Main event says, for real, fire. Shanette says J.C. Horn. He's a top 10. And then they added a lot of defensive pieces on that side of the ball for the Carolina Panthers. Will Shador get traded? I don't think so right now. Deal with it. Owen Gale. Will Aaron Rodgers get the Pittsburgh Steelers past the AFC wild card? Owen Gale, what do you think? Lambo, you said that the Steelers were not going to make the playoffs in your opinion. So what do you think?
They might. That depends on the AFC North. The AFC North is very competitive. That means, you still got the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm changing my answer or anything, but it's just, I don't know for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we don't have any expectations. The same expectations as 9-8 or 10-7. So we don't know what the expectations are. They just got a quarterback, but you got Metcalf, traded away Pickens. The expectations are for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I guess expect the unexpected. Don't get your hopes too high.
What do you think, Owen Gale? Do you think that he will get them past the AFC wild card? Main event, nah. They'll use them earlier than later too. Shador. Number 28 on the Pro Football Focus. Top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season is Jordan Lewis, corner for the Jacksonville Jaguars. After spending 8 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys, Lewis heads to Jacksonville fresh off the best year of his career, a 78.2 PFF coverage grade. He ranked 8th in PFF advanced coverage grade in 2024, though he's had an up and down career playing out of the slot. Jordan Lewis Jacksonville Jaguars. Lambeau, how do you feel about that? And I'm going to go ahead and read. They got number 27 PFF Pro Football Focus as Tyson Campbell, another cornerback who has struggled to stay healthy. Campbell has yet to mirror the success he had in 2022 with his 80.7 PFF coverage grade, ranked 7th. So, Lambeau, talk a little bit about Tyson Campbell and Jordan Lewis and what's going on down there for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think when it comes to Jordan Lewis, Jordan Lewis has some, he's a little ball skill, like meaning he can catch interceptions and things like that. I remember the interception, game-winning interception against. No, never mind. That was Jacksonville Jaguars. Never mind. But I just think at the end of the day, when it comes to Jordan Lewis,
yeah, he's breaking up a little bit. So, I mean, PFF thinks that the Jaguars got 2 of the top 32, and they added Travis Hunter. Owen Gale. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers plays how he did in Green Bay, I don't see why they won't make it past the wild card. So Owen Gale believes. Yeah, I think you got some bad service, Lambeau. Owen Gale says he thinks that if Rodgers plays like he did at Green Bay, then they will make it past. Main Event, we need you to be the director. Cut to commercial, no doubt. Lambeau, are you back?
Yeah, I'm driving home.
Oh, that's good. How do you feel about Tyson Campbell? How do you feel about what's going on there? PFF, Pro Football Focus, says that. And Masterful says Gonzo the top. Masterful, this is your first comment. Thank you. I'm going to give you a helmet sticker. How do you feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Lambeau, having 2 guys in the top 32 at corners?
Well, I mean, according to what you read, you said he was based on injury. So there's only but so many cornerbacks you could really watch when it comes to actually watching the game. Because, you always just, when you watch the game, you're not really looking for those types of underdogs or those type of guys like at the bottom. But I mean, if Travis Hunter probably plays corner, sure, that might be a possible duo depending on how he develops on the team or whatever. But I just it's hard to make an actual judgment on somebody that's been hurt. It's just hard. It's very hard.
Number 26 on the Pro Football Focus top 32 cornerbacks the NFL leading into the 2025 season, Joey Porter Jr., Pittsburgh Steelers. Porter's 56.3 PFF coverage grade in 2024 doesn't look great, but his PFF advanced coverage grade is much better. 21st across the past 2 seasons. Better on-ball production may be coming for the former first-round pick, Joey Porter Jr., son of the legendary Joey Porter Sr., Pittsburgh Steelers. Lambeau, how do you feel about Joey Porter Jr. at number 26 for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I mean, I love his dad, Joey Porter Sr. I know I was a little bit too young and you were older than me, obviously, when you watched him. But Joey Porter, Senior is just very, aggressive. He was one of the top tier middle linebackers, outside linebackers. Really going to. When it comes to his son, Joey Jr., guys, and the question that I really have is what suits best for Joey Porter, because they're not a man-to-man team They're more of a and the Steelers are not the same defense as we saw the Steel Curtain defense. They didn't have, the Ike Taylors and Palomalos and Ryan Clarks of all. So if it doesn't work out in Pittsburgh, which Mike Thomas probably will, they might keep him, but he's a man-to-man guy. He's an aggressive guy that goes for the ball and likes to get a lot of contact on the wide receivers.
Jared says, hey, Jared, welcome back. This is for you. We're talking about the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season as rated by Pro Football Focus. Number 25, J.C. Horn, Carolina Panthers. Where is our Carolina Panthers fan, McLean? Horn is talented, but has struggled with the injuries in the NFL, despite being the league's second highest paid cornerback. Horn ranks only 23rd in PFF advanced coverage grade over the past 3 seasons and 23rd in standard PFF coverage grade, 79.6 across the past 2. How do you feel about J.C. Horn and the Carolina Panthers, number 25 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season?
I feel like J.C. Horn is probably top 20, maybe 15, if he can stay healthy. But look, J.C. Horn, he's just dude. He's a dog when he's healthy. He makes an impact on one side of the field. I'm not going to compare him to like Richard Sherman or anything, but maybe he's like the replacement for like a Josh Norman that used to play for the Carolina Panthers. He's similar to like a Josh Norman. I'm not going to say he's as loud or as cocky as Josh Norman is, but he could intercept the ball. He can really see the field. He can really see the offense, and he's aggressive to the point of attack. He really imposes his will, and there's no mercy when he's on that one side of the field.
Number 24 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season, A.J. Terrell, Atlanta Falcons. A.J. Terrell places 16th in the PFF advanced coverage grade across the past 2 seasons, but hasn't been able to match his incredible 2021 campaign in which he earned an 85.6 standard PFF coverage grade and allowed a minuscule 0.35 yards per cover snap. A.J. Terrell of the Atlanta Falcons has secured just 3 interceptions in the past 3 years, but does well to prevent separation. Number 24, Lambeau, A.J. Terrell, the Atlanta Falcons.
I like A.J. Terrell. I know his interceptions are not really up there when it comes to A.J. Terrell, but he doesn't get beat deep a lot. A.J. Terrell has very, very good technique when it comes to deep ball. When you need him on a third down situation, there's some situations where he has clutched the game for the Atlanta Falcons, and I guess with other teams in the past, he's played for another team. But look, A.J. Terrell, it's all about getting better. He's going to get better this upcoming season, and depending on the play of these other cornerbacks, whether they're healthy or whether they can stay healthy, I think that A.J. Terrell is possibly a top 15 cornerback in this league.
Number 23 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Number 23, Deommodore Lenoir, San Francisco 49ers. Lenoir's first 2 NFL seasons yielded a sub-660 PFF coverage grade, but his 2023 season represented a leap in performance to a 74.2 PFF coverage mark and 9th-ranked PFF advanced coverage yards. Lenoir for the 49ers in his 2-year PFF advanced coverage grade ranks 9th amongst cornerbacks. How do you feel about Lenoir and the San Francisco 49ers?
Well, I think when it comes to Lenoir, he really does have some flashes. But like he's only played 2 years, so I gotta see how And with the process of the eye test for cornerbacks, I got to see how he's really going to get better. How is he going to improve? There's not much he could really do last year just because the 49ers were banged up altogether. I mean, he might have been a part of the injury list last year too. So I just want to see him, just better himself based off, being more aggressive, having that confidence to, guard one of the top receivers in the NFL, because the 49ers always had injury problems that started with their safeties first, and then sometimes they'll switch their safeties to play corners or their corners to play safety. So we'll see how good of adjustment Illinois can do, but I think he's going to be fine. I just want to see him get better and then, build that trust within the defensive side. I think the 49ers, if I'm correct, did they get Robert Saleh back as defensive coordinator?
I believe so.
Yeah, so they'll be fine. Robert Saleh is going to turn them into dogs.
Number 22 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading to the 2025 season, Garrett Williams of the Arizona Cardinals. After struggling in his rookie season, Garrett Williams, and missing more than half the year, resulting in a 57.2 PFF coverage grade, Garrett Williams for the Arizona Cardinals was excellent in 2024 with an 83.7 PFF coverage grade, fourth best, and the seventh best PFF advanced coverage grade. The word of Elijah. Who will pick up money from free agency? Jaire Alexander. That is the question. Word of Elijah. I'm waiting to see what you say because you're the expert. This is for you. Jared Salucci says Arizona's got some pieces. They got Josh Sweat. So, Lambo, do you know where Alexander is going to end up? Word of Elijah says the Panthers or Miami. And he said the Cards are his dark horse.
I have a feeling it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens, just because those two teams are, they're sort of off. Well, no, the Chiefs are more of an offensive team, and the Ravens are more of a defensive team. But both of them have great defensive coordinators. You got Steve Spagnuolo, who's a former defensive coordinator for the Giants that beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. Then you got second year in Zachary Orr, who used to be the linebackers coach with the Baltimore Ravens. He was a former player. So I think those are the two best fits if you want deep playoff runs and possibly a chance to win the Super Bowl, which is the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
We got some comments. Word of Elijah says Cards are my dark horse. Word of Elijah says, but Texans would be spooky. Word of Elijah says he's not going to the Chiefs. Jared Salucci says Jaire was injured last year, I think. Garrett Williams and the Arizona Cardinals. Word of Elijah says more likely the Miami Dolphins. Lambo, who was it that said Jared said Arizona's got some pieces. They got Josh Sweat. How do you feel about Garrett Williams at number 22 and the Arizona Cardinals?
It's kind of like what Paul Melly said yesterday. I mean, Jonathan Gannon is a good coach on the defensive side, but just like nobody really watches Arizona Cardinals. They're not on national. They're not on national television. Even if they are on national television, and we're stuck in traffic, nobody's really watching them. So I mean, when it comes to Arizona Cardinals, and what I think of when people say the Arizona Cardinals, I just think of Kyler Murray. I'm not thinking of the other guys on that roster. You're really thinking of Kyler Murray, and you're really thinking of Marvin Harrison Jr. So when it comes to him, I don't have that much insight on that corner from the Arizona Cardinals. It just isn't out on national television like that. So it's just hard to watch those West Coast teams because you really don't see them on primetime television like that.
The word of Elijah says Jaire Alexander wasn't injured. He just did not want to play for the Packers. Jared said, liked video for you guys. Hey, we appreciate it. This is for you for liking the video. Let's go. The GOAT. Number 21 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Darius Slay, Pittsburgh Steelers. Darius Slay bounced back from a poor 2023 season with a 65.4 PFF coverage grade, 83rd in PFF advanced coverage grade with a 75.5 PFF coverage grade, and a 17th ranked PFF advanced coverage grade. The 34-year-old Darius Slay of the Pittsburgh Steelers' best days are behind him, but as his 2022 and 2024 seasons showed, he still has great play left in the tank. Do you agree with Pro Football Focus putting Darius Slay of the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 21, Lambo?
Yeah, he's been through a lot of injuries. I mean, he did play, if I'm correct, did play for the Eagles. I think he did play for the Lions at one point. Now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's an elite man-to-man guy, so somebody he can shut down on the left or right side of the field. So that's like saying you could have, Richard Sherman and him on the same side of the field, or Patrick Surtain and Darius Slay Jr. on the other side of the field. But, I think he brings a veteran presence of he knows how to win. So I think that would be great for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But it's just, at the end of the day, when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's going to come down to the scheme that they run. And I know the scheme is not as important for some NFL fans, but it's just, let's just be honest. Like, what type of defense do the Steelers run? Are they a zone coverage zone coverage team or a man coverage team? I mean, because Darius Slay, not saying he can't play zone, but Darius Slay Jr. is a man-to-man guy. So
we got some comments. Josh Danner says, and I think this is your first comment of the day, so this is for you.
Gotta be a mentality. Yes, sir. So when you come out here, you're ready to dominate.
Josh Danner says, I think Darius Slay is slowing down big time for his age, but he is solid. Jared Salucci says Darius Slay is one of the best cornerbacks and Super Bowl winner. Number 20 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Taron Johnson, Buffalo Bills. Injuries interrupted Johnson's 2024 season, but his PFF advanced coverage grade across the past 3 years ranks 4th among cornerbacks. His 75.9 standard PFF coverage grade in the slot since 2023 places 8th, while his 38 pass stops ranked 4th. How do you feel about Taron Johnson for the Buffalo Bills at number 20, Lambo?
Well, I think he's really stepped up, with the loss of Tre'Davious White last year, and some other corners that they had in the past. I think he's really stepped up. And what Sean McDermott has been able to do, the ball, especially losing Stephon Diggs and losing some other key guys on offense and defense. I think he's been the guy that's able to step up, especially with the linebackers that they have as well. Just because the Buffalo Bills, they're aggressive. They keep teams off the board. The only problem is they just can't beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But I like this pick right here, or I like this order right here. Him at number 20 is perfect.
Jared Salucci says that Johnson is all right. He needs to stay healthy. Number 19 in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Number 19, Riq Woolen, Seattle Seahawks. Woolen gets overlooked a bit in the discussion of top cornerbacks because he hasn't replicated his rookie success after leading the NFL in interceptions 6. But his PFF advanced coverage grade across the past 3 years ranks 13th in the NFL. Woolen has allowed just 0.72 yards per cover snap since 2023, the 6th best rate at the position. Riq Woolen, Seattle Seahawks. How do you feel about Riq Woolen and the Seattle Seahawks being 19th?
Well, I mean, he can intercept the ball. He's the guy that gives the spark on the defense of the Seattle Seahawks. And look, that's the reason the Seattle Seahawks still won 10 games despite the firing of Pete Carroll, and especially in the tough NFC West division. So I give him a lot of credit, but also I give second-year head coach Mac McDonald, who was defensive coordinator for Michigan and also defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens before he became a head coach. I'm going to give him credit as well, just because the Seattle Seahawks style of football was basically just run the football and play defense. So that's why they're able to win 10 games in one of the second or third toughest conference in the division, which is the NFC West. But look, he's going to be fine. He just needs to get better. I'm not going to put any high expectations on a rookie. He was a rookie last year. Now he's going to be a second-year guy. So we're going to have to see how he develops and can he stay, healthy. Not saying that he hasn't had any injuries yet, but that's going to be the key. We talk about potential guys like him, but can they stay healthy and can they be consistent?
Number 18 on the Pro Football Focus top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season. PFF has at number 18, Carlton Davis III, cornerback for the New England Patriots. Davis will be on his third team in 3 years, but is coming off the second highest graded season of his career, 72.1. Although Davis' 2024 campaign was cut short due to injury, the PFF advanced coverage grade across the past 3 seasons ranks 10th amongst corners. He'll now form a formidable tandem with Christian Gonzalez in the New England Patriots secondary. And we have some comments. Stevens Fishing Adventures says the quarterback position is definitely a throwback for Seattle. Stevens Fishing, I think this is your first comment of the day. This is for you. O'Connor says Kansas City rules. Okay, so this is for you. Kansas City Chiefs.
There's got to be a mentality. Yes, sir. So when you come out here, you're ready to dominate.
Jared Salucci says David was fantastic with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. O'Connor says, hoorah. Lambo, you're a Patriots guy. You're a New England Patriots fan. How do you feel about Carlton Davis III at number 18?
Check, check, check.
Yes, I can hear you. How do you feel about Carlton Davis III being number 18 cornerback for the New England Patriots? Masterful. A top 10 quarterback to be a number 2 is a steal. Laugh out loud. Masterful. I think this is your first comment of the day. This is for you. Lambo is a huge New England Patriots fan, and he predicted that the New England Patriots would be back in the playoffs this season. Jared Salucci says the New England Patriots, led by Mike Vrabel, could make some noise. I agree. They've added Morgan Moses, who I coached in high school and went to Fort Union Military Academy. And they added Mac Hollins, who also went to FUMA. Masterful. We're hopefully going 10-7. Go Pats. Masterful. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. We need some participation. We need you guys to jump into the chat and comment. Y'all the stars of the show. Jared Salucci says they will be a wild card team. The New England Patriots will be a wild card team. William Allen. Thank you, William Allen. This is your first comment of the day. And Lambo is back. Lambo, I'm glad you joined because people are pretty fired up about the New England Patriots. William Allen said the Patriots making noise is laughable. Mike said Patriots 6-11. Patriots not making the playoffs. Jared Salucci said that the Patriots are making some noise. So I told everyone you are a New England Patriots guy, and you're fired up about Mike Vrabel being the head football coach of the New England Patriots. You have predicted that the New England Patriots will be in the NFL playoffs this season. Mike says AFC is too deep. Masterful. People are fired up. The chat is on fire. 6-11 is too low for the talent they have. Jared Salucci says, gotta trust Mike Vrabel. He is a great coach. Mike said, they are moving in the right direction. Lambo, where do you stand in this discussion about the New England Patriots? Masterful says the Bills are the only better team.
Really? I said the Buffalo Bills are going to win the division, but, you know, the Jets need some work. We'll see how they deal with Justin Fields. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to be last in the division, and the New England Patriots will be second in the division, which means I'm going to take $100 from the man from Soul and Coach Ball because the New England Patriots will win more than 10 games based off the talent that we already have on the roster.
Wow. So everybody's fired up with the no Bill Belichick New England Patriots. We got some comments. Jack No says their defense is going to carry them. Jack No, this is your first comment of the day. This is for you. Jared Salucci says Mike took the Titans. Mike Vrabel took the Tennessee Titans to the AFC Championship game. And I believe that was when Derrick Henry was the tailback. Mike says the Buffalo Bills win that division walking away, led by quarterback Josh Allen. Mike says three-way battle for last place. Jack No says, yo. Jack No, this is for you. Woo! That'll probably get us a copyright violation. Sorry, Totem Pole Nation. But you brought us back on Totem Pole because they said they could not find anybody lower than me and Lambo. We're the low man on the Totem Pole. We're not ESPN. We're not Barstool. We're not even Fox Sports. So, Lambo, how do you feel about the New England Patriots this season?
I like what Mike Vrabel's bringing to the table. He's like Belichick. You know, he played for Belichick, but he's more of a Belichick and Parcells and a fun guy way. But also, he's going to take this talent very seriously. New England Patriots will make some noise this year. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to the AFC Championship again. They got about 2 more years for that, maybe 1 more year to develop that talent. But they drafted very well this year. I like what Robert Kraft is doing, you know. Hiring Mike Vrabel was the smartest decision you ever made. I still think Gerard Mayo got set up to fail, but, you know, we're ready to win now. The Patriots had not won since 2021 when Mac Jones was a rookie quarterback. I'm so glad to have Josh McDaniels back as the offensive coordinator. Terrell Williams is the DC. We got him from the Lions. We're stacked. We're ready to go. And we're going to beat the Las Vegas Raiders week 1.
All right, we got a lot of comments. Mike said the New England Patriots are building for the future. O'Connor said, hey, I know it's a long shot, but after that impressive win last year, the Kansas City Chiefs showed team spirit, and that is something to fear. I saw something last year that took me to the good old days. As they talk about when the Patriots beat the Chiefs, Jared Salucci says the Pats got a great offensive tackle from LSU, Will Johnson. Is that his name? Stevens Fishing Adventures. Washington, the Washington Commanders wide receiver room is making some noise. So let's see how they do this year. And also, I'm ready to see how Gabe Taylor does this season. Masterful. Drake May, baby. Drake May, quarterback of the New England Patriots. Jack No says the New England Patriots should be in the hunt column in the last month of the year, playing meaningful NFL football games. Jared Salucci says the O-line was horrible last year for the New England Patriots. Masterful said Will Campbell, my brother. I know Morgan Moses. Will Campbell. Thank you, Masterful. Y'all should be on this show. That's why we're the low man on the totem pole. I'm glad y'all are here. Y'all are the experts. Number 17 in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season, Jamal Dean, cornerback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Consistency is highly valued in the NFL, and there might not be any cornerback more consistent year to year than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' Dean. His worst season resulted in a 72.5 PFF overall grade, while his best produced a 78.9 figure. He ranks 11th in PFF advanced coverage grade over the past 2 seasons and did not allow a touchdown in coverage in 2024 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jamal Dean, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 17, Lambo. What are your thoughts?
Say the player's name again.
Jamal Dean. Jamal Dean for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, I like the way what Todd Bowles is doing, and you said this in January when they were playing the Washington Commanders. You know, the way they set up the defense and try to confuse Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels was just too mobile and too good. What I like about Jamal Dean is just, you know, he's aggressive, he's physical. He can play both zone, he can play both man covers, whatever it's needed. I think Carlton Davis used to be on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers too. So just a replacement of the Carlton Davis, you know, replacing guys that you had back then and then stepping up is very tough because Todd Bowles' defense is very old school. I'm not going to say it's complicated because I don't know the technical.
Well, they bring a lot of pressure. They play a lot of pressure. Yes.
They bring a lot of pressure. So I like him right at the number at 17. That's where it needs to be. I like it right there.
Number 16, Quinyon Mitchell, Philadelphia Eagles. The top 2 rookie cornerbacks from 2024 were with the Philadelphia Eagles' first 2 selections in the 2024 NFL Draft. Mitchell fared better than his teammate in PFF advanced coverage grade, ranking 6th, but placed 9th in PFF overall and standard coverage grades. Don't be surprised if Mitchell contends for a top 5 spot a year from now as he finished the 2024 season with 15 forced incompletions, the 3rd most in the NFL for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quinyon Mitchell, number 16, the Philadelphia Eagles, Lambo. What are your thoughts?
Man, well, just look at the way Vic Fangio has had that defense. I mean, there's a reason why they went to the Super Bowl last year. You got guys like him, and you got guys like Cooper DeJean, the guy that played 6-man football. Look, the Philadelphia Eagles, they always been a great defense. The problem is they just hadn't been able to get over the hump. I like this right here, right at number 16. You know, Mitchell, they were great on defense. It's the reason why they won that Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Center Prods said, I'd argue that Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. I believe that is your first comment of the day, Center Prods. So there's a helmet sticker for you, Center Prods. How do you feel about that, Lambo? Is the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts better than the Baltimore Ravens Lamar Jackson?
Yes. He's a better thrower than Lamar Jackson. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been in 2 Super Bowls. Lamar Jackson's been to 0.
Jared Salucci says Mitchell and the Eagles defense was fantastic in 2024. Jared Salucci, this is for you. Jared, you always bring the fire. Masterful, big reason they won that Super Bowl. And Masterful said, heck no. Lamar Jackson is better than Jalen Hurts. Masterful, this is for you. You've been on fire today. Jared Salucci says the Philadelphia Eagles Hurts, Jalen Hurts, has been to 2 Super Bowls. Sir Smackhead 999, this is your first comment of the day. This is for you. Everybody's fired up now. Sir Smackhead 999 said, heck no. Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens is the best dual threat quarterback in the history of the NFL. I love some Lamar Jackson. My son's name is Jackson. He loves Lamar. AJS, the New York Giants, Jackson Dart will be better than the Chargers, Justin Herbert, by the end of his career. AJS, that is your first comment of the day. This is for you. The chat is on fire, Lambo. How do you feel about these guys in the chat? They know their stuff, don't they?
Yes, they do. We help others change lives and build champions.
Amen. Jared Salucci says Jackson Dart hasn't played a game yet in the NFL. AJS says, but he will the potential. Steven's Fishing Adventures. No, Jaden Daniels is. Jaden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. Masterful, chill. Newton, still the best. AJS, no, it's not. I commented before, okay? AJS, I'm sorry. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I was in the small classes in school. Jared Salucci, sorry about that. Let's see how the New York Giants defense goes. AJS said Abdul Carter is a beast. Number 15, no problem, dude. AJS, keep me straight, man. 15 in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Charvarius Ward, Indianapolis Colts. After seeing his PFF coverage grade rise for 5 consecutive seasons, culminating in an 86.5 mark in 2023, Ward earned the lowest PFF coverage grade of his career in 2024, 58.2. He missed multiple games due to either injury or a personal matter, and the 49ers let him test free agency. Ward ranked 5th in 2022 and 3rd in 2023 in PFF advanced coverage grade, so expect a bounce-back year for him with the Indianapolis Colts. Sir Smackhead 99 says Don Hudson is better than Jerry Rice. AJS said no chance. Jared Salucci, the Colts coaching has to be better this year. AJS, Julio Jones is top 5 wide receivers in the league. Is Julio still in the league? I thought he retired. How do you feel about Ward at number 15 and the Indianapolis Colts in the top 32 corners in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Lambeau?
Look, when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts, I've always liked Darius Ward. You know, this guy, he can make the tackles. This guy, he can make all of the plays you need him to make. Look, at the end of the day, it's not just about Charvarius Ward, but it's with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, it's his first year. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs for 3 years. Then he was with the 49ers. So he's been a part of Super Bowl teams. It's just that he needs to really get into, you know, the new defensive system. I think they got a new defensive coordinator, if I'm correct. I don't think he was the former head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Gus Bradley. I don't think he's no longer defensive coordinator. If I'm correct me if I'm not. I just think when it comes to Charvarius Ward, he knows how to cover guys. He can really rush. He's great at, you know, getting the tackles, but, you know, as far as receptions, he can pat down the ball. He's not really a big interception guy, but he's really like a pass breakup, big hit type of guy. But I think he'll be just fine. But I just want to know, you know, how he's going to do, not just him, but the whole defense together with the new defensive coordinator.
Masterful says, laugh out loud. AJS, Julio Jones is the top 5 wide receivers all time in the league. He was always open. AJS, Matt Ryan was just chucking it down the field. Matty Ice for the Atlanta Falcons. Steven's Fishing Adventures says, so was Chad Ochocinco Johnson for the Bengals. AJS, don't matter. He was tripled. AJS, Chad was a whack job. Jared from the Bengals, I think. Number 14 on the top 32 cornerbacks of the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Number 14, Jalen Ramsey. And they got him here for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins trade for Ramsey likely hasn't gone exactly how they hoped when they gave up a 3rd-round pick and a tight end Hunter Long in 2023, but he's still been one of the most talented cornerbacks in the NFL. Jalen Ramsey, we got some comments here. Steven's Fishing Adventures, Chad got the job done, and AJS, he never had efficient numbers. Lambeau, is Jalen Ramsey still on the Dolphins, or what's the deal with him? And he's at number 14.
Well, he's still on the Dolphins as of right now. They had not found a trade to the correct team. Now, I don't know if it's a money issue or if they're not willing to give up a lot of draft picks. But I think when it comes to Jalen Ramsey, he's been a dog out of Florida State. Jacksonville Jaguars, he made some very noise. He's a multi-time Pro Bowl selection, first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. The Miami Dolphins, you know, it's just the things that happened with the Miami Dolphins defensively didn't go their way. Nobody expected the Miami Dolphins to go 8-9. So I think it'll be best for Jalen Ramsey to maybe go back to the Rams. I mean, don't take as much money on your contract. Go back to the Rams and see if you can be competitive and try to go for another shot at the Super Bowl.
The chat is on fire. Jared Salucci says Jalen knows how to cover. Jared says big reason why the Rams won the Super Bowl. AJS says Jalen will be dealt for a 3rd to the Rams or the Vikings. Thank you for your insight about Jalen Ramsey. Number 13 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season. Another New England Patriot. Number 13, Christian Gonzalez. After missing most of his rookie season due to injury, Christian Gonzalez started the 2024 NFL campaign slowly for the Patriots before catching fire in Week 4 against the San Francisco 49ers. Christian Gonzalez played man coverage at 50% rate last season and earned a 78.2 PFF coverage grade, which ranked 9th among cornerbacks. Christian Gonzalez, Lambeau, out of your New England Patriots.
Look, I think Christian Gonzalez, you know, has a lot of He has a lot of explosiveness when it comes to the cornerback position. He did get hurt last year, so I don't think he played at all. I think he got hurt towards the beginning of the year or whatever it was. It might have been the year before, or it might have been last year. So I think
before.
Yeah, so Christian Gonzalez has a lot of potential, but it's only going to get better because you got Carlton Davis on the other side. Then you got Christian Gonzalez. It's only going to get better for the New England Patriots. Look, the actions speak louder than words for itself. The talent is there. Our schedule was favorable earlier in the year, but we're just going to have to execute against tough teams. Pittsburgh's going to be tough. The Ravens are going to be tough. I think we play Cincinnati and the Tennessee Titans. So those teams are going to be very hard. I'm confident in Mike Vrabel and Christian Gonzalez in the next 3 years will be a top 7 cornerback in the NFL.
AJS believes Christian Gonzalez to the New England Patriots is a dog. He should be top 5. Jared Salucci said he will do well. Masterful says we had no pass rush either, and he was still second team All-Pro for the Patriots last season. Number 12 in the top 32 corners in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Devon Witherspoon, Seattle Seahawks. Witherspoon placed 13th in PFF advanced coverage grade in 2024 and ranks 8th over the past 2 years. Witherspoon and the Seahawks have been one of the best run defending cornerbacks in the NFL. His 90.3 PFF run defense grade over the past 2 seasons ranked 2nd, contributing to his 8th ranked 84.5 PFF overall grade. Number 12 on the top 32 cornerbacks heading into the 2025 NFL season, Devon Witherspoon. Lambo, what do you think about Devon Witherspoon being there at number 12 for the Seattle Seahawks?
I mean, this guy was first team All-American. You know, he came from the Illinois Fighting Illini. So he came from Illinois.
Fighting Illini.
He played in Illinois for 3 years. I think he was great. I think with the Seattle Seahawks in that culture under Mac McDonald, they're going to be a defensive team. There's a reason why he was 3rd in most total snaps. He was 1st in solo tackles. And, you know, he was 1st in stops. And, you know, he didn't get any interceptions. But at the end of the day, his technique is what matter. His tackling is what matter. Certain tackles that he had in certain games, it basically made or break the game in a good way for the Seattle Seahawks. Devon Witherspoon should probably be a little bit higher than 12, but that depends on who's in the top 10.
Number 11. Top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season. The Philadelphia Eagles, Cooper DeJean, the highest-ranked rookie from 2024 on the list. DeJean was phenomenal for the Eagles out of Iowa in their Super Bowl run. He ranked 2nd in PFF coverage grade from man and zone match coverage in 2024, 76.7. 3rd in PFF coverage grade, 84.1, and 12th in PFF advanced coverage grade. He did not allow a touchdown on 97 targets last season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 11, Lambo, Cooper DeJean. Jared Salucci says Cooper had a pick in the Super Bowl, a pick 6. That is exactly right, Jared. Lambo, what do you think about number 11?
Cooper DeJean, correct fit right here for Cooper DeJean. Remember, Cooper DeJean played 8-man football, and we were talking about this. We always talk about it. Fort Union Military Academy, body, mind, and spirit. Cooper DeJean played 8-man football. He was one of the reasons why they won the Super Bowl. I mean, this dude was 6 in total sacks. He just has to get better. I mean, he's only in year 1. He's an Iowa Hawkeye guy. I know the man from Seoul. He loves players from Iowa. So, you know, this guy, you know, he's just going to get better as the time comes. He was in a great system under Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator, you know. But the good thing about Cooper DeJean and the Philadelphia Eagles is their run defense was great. As far as corners, he had a great run defensive grade. I think it was second overall in total corners as far as the rushing grade. So he's going to be all right. He is going to be very, very legit coming forward. Now, will the Eagles possibly win back-to-back Super Bowls? It's probably going to be tough. They're going to have a little bit of setbacks because they lost certain key guys on defense on the D-line. One of them did go to the New England Patriots. And, you got to sign a couple other guys. Nick Sirianni got a contract extension, so Cooper DeJean is only going to get better.
Number 10 in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season. Steven's Fishing Adventure says, and it was also his birthday. I didn't know that. Jared Salucci says, the Philadelphia Eagles lost a lot of talent, but could make the Super Bowl again. Number 10 in the top cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Denzel Ward, Cleveland Browns. Denzel Ward is another player who has struggled to stay healthy, but when at full strength is one of the best in the NFL. In 2024, Denzel Ward was on a torrid forced incompletion rate pace until he faded at the end of the season, but still led the NFL with 17 forced incompletions, and his 80.4 PFF coverage grade and man and zone match coverage was tops in the NFL. Still with Sports says, will Vegas do good this year? So number 10 is Denzel Ward. I think they will be better than last year. They never really answered losing Carr. And Pete Carroll's answer is to get a quarterback that don't turn it over and get a great running back and play defense. Jared Salucci, the Browns have like 3 playoff appearances since 2000. Lambeau, will Vegas do good this year? And number 10, Denzel Ward of the Cleveland Browns. What are your thoughts?
I don't know how good Vegas would do. You probably the best person to ask is probably the Terminator. But they're in a tough division in the AFC West. I mean, with the Raiders, you got the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Chiefs. So right now, I have them as either tied for third or last. I mean, it's just so many talented quarterbacks in that division. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, and Geno Smith is not better than all those 3 quarterbacks. No disrespect to Geno, he doesn't turn the ball over, but they're going to play defense. They're going to run the ball. I don't know how many games they're going to win. They might win maybe 7 or 8. It's a rebuilding year. They're not going to win right off the bat. It might take them to year 2 to finally get things going. When it comes to Denzel Ward, Ohio State Buckeyes for 3 years. He's been playing with Cleveland since Baker Mayfield. They got drafted in 2018, number 1 overall pick. Look, Denzel Ward has been the best defensive player on that team, even when Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. Like, he's been the best player on that besides Myles Garrett. We're talking cornerbacks. He's the best cornerback on that team. The best defensive player on the team is Myles Garrett. I just wanted to correct myself. But look, he gets past breakups. It's just in some instances in his career, he's been for the Cleveland Browns for the last 6-7 years. He's had some injuries he had to deal with. But I think he's still legit as far as a corner. So yes, he's still a top 10 corner. He's just getting older, I don't know how many corners really play for a certain amount of period, but at some point, I think maybe in the next year or 2, he might be going to his downside just with a lot of physical capabilities that he has to overcome.
We got a lot of comments. Deal with it. Sports says, is Jets going to get a win with their team knowing how bad? Masterful said they're mid, the Raiders. Jared Salucci said maybe Vegas tank and get Arch in the draft. Deal with it. Sports. Is Marvin Harrison going to make an appearance for himself? Justin Medley, great assessment, Lambeau. I totally agree. Marvin Harrison, dude, he looks like his whole body changed.
He's bulked. He's really put some weight on.
Wow, this is an interesting one right here. This is an interesting one. Everybody talked about him earlier. Jaire Alexander, Green Bay Packers. Jaire Alexander, when healthy, Alexander is capable of contending to be the best cornerback in the NFL, but he hasn't completed a full season since 2019. Still, his 89.5 PFF coverage grade across the past 3 NFL seasons is tied for second with Pat Surtain II. Jaire Alexander's PFF advanced coverage grade is good, but his missed time and the metrics' cumulative nature mean he ranks just 21st over the past 3 seasons. Deal With It Sports says, is JJ going to lead the Vikings after his injury and surgery? That's a great question. What do you think? That's like the $1 million question. I think the Vikings think he is. That's why they let the other guy go. Jared Salucci said Matt knows how to coach players up. Lambo, what do you think about Jaire Alexander being number 9? And Deal With It Sports says, yes, he is a J.J. McCartney believer. Lambo said that J.J. McCartney was the best quarterback in the draft coming out of Michigan. So Lambo, Jaire Alexander, Deal With It Sports says J.J. knows how to pull around. Amen. What do you think, Lambo, about Jaire Alexander at number 9? And where's he going?
He could probably be a little bit higher. It's 6 years at Green Bay. He did play 3 seasons with the Louisville Cardinals. Nobody really knows about that. 2-time second team All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowl selection, 2-time second team. 1-time second team, 1-time All-First team. When it comes to Jaire Alexander, like I said earlier, he's got to go to a team that is going to win and get deeper into the playoffs. I think the Ravens will be a good fit for him. I think the Chiefs will be a good fit for him. A possibility, maybe the Rams will be a good fit for Jaire Alexander. We just got to figure out whether he's going to stay in the NFC, whether he's going to go to the AFC. Because, like I said, he can guard people. He has guarded Justin Jefferson. That has been like a rival when you watch the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Jaire Alexander versus Justin Jefferson. He's also guarded some other dogs, other wide receivers in the past as well. He doesn't give up a lot of yards of reception anyway. So it's like less than 10 yards or more. He doesn't get beat deep at all. And I just think at the end of the day, he's going to be great. He's going to be efficient. He just has to go to the right place. If he goes to the right place and if he goes to the right situation, he's going to be fine. Jared says maybe Buffalo too. Deal With the Sports says a mid-sauce contract going to get extended for this year. I do not know yet. Javier Lopez says PS2, PlayStation 2.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner. Okay, number 8 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season. Christian Benford, Buffalo Bills. Benford's 87.1 PFF coverage grade over the past 2 years ranks 4th in the NFL, while his PFF advanced coverage grade places 6th. He has not made a good name for himself. Is that Christian or are you talking about Sauce? Sauce Gardner. Blaine says, I think Sauce is top 5. Blaine, I think this is your first comment today. Yeah, a good name in the NFL or a good name like in what he's doing, like off the field. Lambo. Jared Salucci says, Sauce has been a star since coming in. I like Sauce because, he's going to be ranked pretty high, I bet. But Sauce was an unrecruited guy. Went to Cincinnati, man. And now he's one of the best corners in the league. Christian Benford and the Buffalo Bills, Lambo. How do you feel about Christian Benford and the Buffalo Bills? Number 8 on the top 32 corners in the NFL heading to the 2025 NFL season?
I mean, he's really surprised me, with the forced fumbles that he's had in the last 2 seasons, top 10 in sacks. I mean, this guy just knows how to be aggressive when it comes to playing cornerback. I mean, the Bills had to replace a lot of good guys, and one of them was Tre'Davious White. So he's a young guy. He's only 25, I think. He was from Villanova. He's a Villanova Wildcat guy. He was with the Buffalo Bills for the past 3 seasons. And look, when it comes to Sean McDermott knows about defense. He has established the defensive side of the ball already when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. Whether I'm a Patriots fan and I don't like the Buffalo Bills, he's already established the culture. The only problem is for the Buffalo Bills is, can they get over the hump? They always draft well. They always get good guys on defense. They got a good GM and Brandon Beane. The question is, can they beat the Kansas City Chiefs when it matters? That's just the question.
Deal with it. Sports said Sauce is basically on the worst team. So, dude, I think he's going to sign in free agency. He's getting out of the Jets. I mean, it happens to all those corners like Revis, all of them. Deal with it. Sports, is Josh going to have a record-breaking season? That's a good question. Josh Allen. Blaine says one person that might be better than Sauce is Patrick Surtain. Number 7 in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Marlon Humphrey, Baltimore Ravens. After battling injuries in 2023 and posting a career low 63.2 PFF coverage grade, Humphrey enjoyed a mostly healthy 2024 season and posted an 81 PFF coverage grade, good for the second best mark of his career. Marlon Humphrey of the Ravens ranked 4th in PFF advanced coverage grade in 2024, and his 6.4% interceptions per target rate was career high. And Deal With It Sports said Patrick can't catch. How do you feel about Marlon Humphrey and the Baltimore Ravens? Marlon Humphrey rated 7 out of the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL. Jermaine Event said, I don't like Jay Johnson at 4. Wasn't he the one who gave up the Hail Mary versus the Commanders? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, we haven't gotten to 4 yet, but I'd say he was, man. Deal With It said, nah. So, Lambo, how do you feel about Marlon Humphrey and the Baltimore Ravens?
He probably should be hired at number 7 just because Marlon Humphrey has been consistent and one of the best cornerbacks in the league since 2019, 2020. I mean, the dude's an Alabama Crimson Tide. He played under Nick Saban, one of the greatest college coaches of all time. It's not even close. The dude gets interceptions. The dude sacks. The dude is aggressive with the forced fumbles. He gets pressure on the quarterback. The pass breakups are great. I mean, he guards one of the best receivers on the other team. And he can play safety. Whatever you need him to play for the Baltimore Ravens under the defense that John Harbaugh has established, he can play anywhere he wants to. He could probably play, middle linebacker, whatever he wants. He's been the most consistent quarterback in the league since 2019, and he probably should be higher. I put him in the top 5.
Deal With It Sports says Marlon Humphrey gets picks. He is the hardest corner in the league. Number 6 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, a Detroit Lion, DJ Reed, has yet to become a household name at the position despite excellent play for several seasons. His PFF advanced coverage grade over the past 2 years for the Detroit Lions ranks 5th, while his 89.3 standard PFF coverage grade ranks 12th. DJ Reed of the Detroit Lions has put together 6 straight seasons of earning a 70-plus PFF overall grade. Jared Salucci says, let's go Detroit Lions. Blaine, I got the Detroit Lions winning the Super Bowl this year. Lambo, DJ Reed, number 6. Cornerback, Detroit Lions. What are your thoughts?
Former guy out of Kansas State Wildcats. He played for 1 year. But he's flip-flopped to 4 different teams in the past 7 years. 2 years with the 49ers, 2 years with the 2 years with the 49ers, 2 years with the Seattle Seahawks, 3 seasons with the New York Jets, and he just got signed to Detroit Lions. Look, I mean, when it comes to this guy, he can sack the quarterback. The only thing, I don't really have an issue with this at all. He just has to find a home. That's the question. He just has to find a home and make a name of himself. The interceptions really isn't there, but I mean, he's as long as you can get to the quarterback and get sacks and you can stop the run or whatever. He's been on some very good defensive teams. San Francisco 49ers, very good defensive teams, Seattle, New York, and we'll see how well he does in Detroit because they are replacing the offense and defensive coordinator. Maybe DJ Reed could be a little bit lower. I think Marlon Humphrey is better than DJ Reed just because of the more consistency he's had. But I wouldn't put DJ Reed like way out of there. But I'll put maybe number 10, but number 6 ahead of Marlon Humphrey. I don't really agree with that.
J Main Event says the Detroit Lions can do it. Deal with it, sports. Detroit is going to play their heart out. No way Coach Campbell is going to cook. Jared Salucci, the Detroit Lions needs pass rush. What's up with that defensive end? Have they not signed him? Is the injury not completely healed, Lambeau? Blaine says, Coach Lambeau, what are your thoughts on Drake May? Everybody knows you're a big New England Patriots fan.
I mean, I did say earlier for Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to come back from a broken leg. I think he'll be ready to play maybe week 1. I might be wrong. He might have got hurt later in the season, so I might be wrong. They'll probably end up signing somebody from free agency-wise, but I think he'll be back for the season. As far as Drake May has the best offensive coordinator in football. His name is Josh McDaniels. He's the guy that coached Tom Brady. So I'm confident what Drake May can do. I got to see the results of the field. He's got a lot of upside. Drake May, by the way, is better than Sam Howell for all you UNC fans. But I think at the end of the day, you got to see how well he does.
Number 5 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Derek Stingley Jr., Houston Texans. Blaine said agree. After a poor rookie season, Derek Stingley has generated a 90.3 PFF coverage grade over the past 2 seasons for the Houston Texans, the best mark among all cornerbacks. The 2022 number 3 overall pick plays a high-risk, high-reward brand of football and threads that needle well as his 12 interceptions across the past 2 years lead in the NFL. Derek Stingley Jr., Houston Texans, number 5 overall, Lambeau. What are your thoughts?
He should be up there. He was a high draft pick coming out of LSU. Last 3 years under the leadership of DeMeco Ryans, it's been very, successful. He knows how to intercept the ball. He's a great pass breakup guy. He doesn't give up a lot of deep balls in coverage. And then he can definitely stop the run. The only thing he has to work on, I think, is staying healthy. I don't think he had a lot of injuries, but he had some injuries. But he's very young. The dude's only 23 years old. But the way he's doing it, he's very small. He's only 6 foot, 190 pounds. So the way he's really playing it is he's playing aggressive. But like I said, DeMeco Ryans knows how to put certain players like that in the right situation, the right time. I mean, Coach San Francisco 49ers, they got some dogs there. So I think Derek Stingley Jr. will be a top 3 cornerback in the National Football League.
Blaine says Coach Troy Taylor, is Jane Daniels already a top 10 quarterback in the league? I would believe so. What do you think, Blaine? Main event. Do we talk college football too? What will Belichick do at UNC, and will he return to the NFL if he gets a 10-win season or make a playoff? Jalucci says Texans could make a run. Daniela says for sure. So, Danielle, I think this is your first comment. So Blaine says so. Main event, we can talk about anything. Anything we want to. UNC and college football. Bill Belichick. How do you feel, Lambo? And Blaine says Jaden Daniels ranks 8. I think that's about right. Lambo, how do you feel about the GOAT? Bill Belichick, former New England Patriots head coach. Jared Goof is in the house. Jared Goof, this is for you. I know one thing. You guys are smarter than ESPN, Barstool, and Fox Sports. Man, we are the low man on the totem pole. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all are the experts. Lambo, what do you think about Bill Belichick, former head coach of the New England Patriots, going to UNC and being the head coach? J-Main says Bella Goat is what I like to call him. Laugh out loud.
Well, I think Bill Belichick will turn around the culture at UNC, and they will win this year. They will definitely beat UVA. And Virginia Tech was on the schedule to beat them too. I just think when it comes to UNC and Bill Belichick, they're going to establish an NFL-like culture. And we've already been to the camp, and maybe we'll go back to see, how they really practice closer in person. But I like Bill Belichick. I like that he's getting a new challenge at UNC. After his dad, rest in peace, his dad, was the head coach at UNC as well. I think they'll compete for ACC championship game against the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Swinney.
His dad was assistant coach, but he did coach there. You're right. Jared Salucci says, how do you feel about the Michigan Wolverines? And Jared Salucci says, do you think they will get back to the college football playoff?
No, because they don't have Jim Harbaugh no more, and you better cheat again to get back.
Wow. Number 4 in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Jaylon Johnson.
Oh, God.
The Chicago Bears. After an incredible 2023 campaign in which he led the NFL in PFF coverage 90.4, Johnson posted a 74.2 PFF coverage grade and allowed more yards and catches in 2024, but his advanced metrics still pointed to an elite level season with the Chicago Bears, as he ranked 3rd in PFF advanced coverage grade in the NFL. Jermaine Event says tough, laugh out loud. Blaine says, I say UNC goes 5-7 this year. Jaylon Johnson, cornerback, Chicago Bears, number 4 out of the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL, according to PFF, going into the 2025 NFL season.
Was he the same guy that was chirping on the sidelines and got beat for a touchdown? Or was that somebody else? The issue I have with this, he could be number 4 based off 2023, but based off last season, the Chicago Bears weren't even good. I mean, the Chicago Bears' only good thing was stopping the run. But
this is PFF, Pro Football Focus. These are supposed to be the smartest people in the world. As we can see, you guys are way smarter than PFF.
Well, I can't say what I want to say, but all I'm really gonna say is that you could put this on 2023 and he'd be number 4. But as of last year, I wouldn't put him in the top 4. I'd probably put him bottom of the 10th. We'll see if he can rebound back. They got a new defensive coordinator. They got a new head coach. They got a new staff. We'll see if Jaylon Johnson can bounce back. He came out of Utah. We'll see if he can bounce back. But just based off last season, he's not number 4.
Blaine says, does IU make the playoffs again? As long as that head coach is there, they are always going to win. J-Main Event, JJ at 4. Come on. J-Main Event, yes. Jared Salucci, wow. Johnson, number 4. Come on. This is PFF, Pro Football Focus's top 32 corners in the NFL. As you can see, they don't know what they're doing. I think it was that I don't think Ben will work out in Chicago. Yeah. He might be just one of those coordinator guys. Number 3 on the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season, Trent McDuffie, Kansas City Chiefs. Trent McDuffie, the highest graded cornerback in PFF's advanced metrics in 2024, has been highly underrated to start his career. His PFF advanced coverage grade ranks 2nd across the past 3 years and 1st across the past 2 years. While his standard PFF coverage grade in that span, 89.0, places 4th. The Kansas City Chiefs don't ask McDuffie to shadow opposing receivers, but his ability to stay tight in coverage is elite. J-Mon Event says, Jared, tough take. I like it. Lambo, Trent McDuffie, number 3. Top cornerbacks going into the 2025 season. How do you feel about Trent McDuffie of the Kansas City Chiefs being ranked number 3?
That's correct. I mean, you're taking over L'Jarius Sneed, who went to the Tennessee Titans and got more money. He's been there since 2022. You know, he played 3 seasons with the Washington Huskies. This guy can cover anybody. You know, he's great at sacks. He's great at interceptions. He's great at forced fumbles. Look, he doesn't do anything to jeopardize the game. He doesn't have a lot of PIs. You know how to stay on his man. I like what Spags is doing on the defensive side. You know, when you lose a guy like the L'Jarius Sneed and you get a guy like Trent McDuffie, I mean, that's just how well you draft. The Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid just know how to draft so well. So I think number 3 is right there. I think you should be top 2. I think Trent McDuffie is better than Sauce Gardner.
Jared says Trent is something else, though. Owen Gale, will Schottenheimer bring the Dallas Cowboys back to the playoffs?
Not this year.
Owen, what do you think? I think that something has to be done with quarterback. And as long as Jerry Jones is there, man, it's kind of like being a Redskin fan when Dan Snyder was the owner. It's like a buzzkill. Number 2 of the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 season, Jermaine Event said, laugh out loud. Blaine says, we will get a Bills-Lions Super Bowl and Lions win. Jared said, I think it's time for the Cowboys to rebuild. Patrick Surtain II, number 2 rated corner in the NFL for the Denver Broncos. The reigning defensive player of the year is recorded an 89.5 PFF coverage grade over the past 3 seasons, ranking 2nd among cornerbacks, and his PFF advanced coverage grade places 3rd. Often asked to shadow the opposing's top receiver, Surtain has produced an elite level as he's allowed just 0.77 yards per cover snap across the past 3 years. Jared Goof says if they keep Schottenheimer, the Dallas Cowboys may literally win 1 game. Blaine says the Dallas Cowboys ain't making the playoffs until Jerry Jones steps down. Pat is nice. Patrick Surtain, Denver Broncos. Lambo, number 2. What are your thoughts?
He's the best cornerback in the league. He's not number 2. Coming out of Alabama, Crimson Tide, he does everything well. He can cover, he can tackle. This dude doesn't miss tackles. Did you know in 4 seasons he's played, he hasn't had a missed tackle? He's number 1 in missed tackles. He does not miss a tackle at all. He's the best cornerback in the league. He can guard. He's long. He can cover. Have you ever seen a 6'2", 202-pound corner? When's the last time you see somebody like Pat Surtain besides his dad?
Richard Sherman.
Time you see somebody like him? Richard Sherman. Okay. So Pat Surtain and Richard Sherman. He's like a Richard Sherman, but the more quieter version. He's not as loud as Richard Sherman. I respect Richard Sherman. Like, no, I'm serious. I respect Richard Sherman. I like his dog mentality. I just do. But it's just at the end of the day, Pat Surtain should definitely be number one. He doesn't have any weaknesses when he guards guys on the field. He can guard any wide receiver he can in the NFL. Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, Randy Moss, anybody that you want him to guard, he'll guard him.
Blaine says best corner in the league. Jermaine Event said Richard Sherman had more help too. Bobby Wagner and Richard Sherman, they played a lot of cover three. They played a lot of zone coverage. Owen Gale said with S. Number one in the top 32 cornerbacks in the NFL heading into the 2025 NFL season. Number one, Sauce Gardner, New York Jets. Sauce Gardner, 91.9 PFF coverage grade since 2022, leads the league. He has forced a league-high 46 incompletions and allowed a low 0.6 yards per cover snap and 21.4% first down plus touchdown rate over that span. Unsurprisingly, Sauce Gardner's PFF advanced coverage grade ranks first as well. While he might not shadow opposing wide receivers at a high rate, he has excelled when asked to do so. J Main Event says Sauce. Jared Goof says overrated. Jared Salucci says crazy. Lambo, is Sauce Gardner the best corner in the NFL?
No, it's Pat Surtain. You can put him at number 2 or number 3. Pat Surtain's the best. Sauce Gardner had a down year.
JK is in the house. Welcome back, JK. Sauce equals beast. J Main Event says top 3.
I mean, when it comes to Sauce Gardner, he's number 2 or number 3. He's not number 1. Sauce Gardner did have a down year. I mean, the Jets weren't really good at all. They were at 5-12. I think he did have an injury, so they had a couple of guys that were really out for most of the year last year anyway. But I think Sauce Gardner is that guy. Let's be honest. Nobody really has ever heard of Sauce Gardner until the Cincinnati Bearcats made that championship game in that college football playoff against Alabama when they got smacked. Because other than that, nobody would ever heard of Sauce Gardner if that wasn't for the case. I respect Sauce Gardner, but I think he'll be out the Jets anytime soon. I don't think he's going to no longer stay with the Jets, depending on the contract and things like that. But he may go somewhere else in the next year, the next 2 years. But he's not a long-term New York Jet. He needs to go somewhere else where he can win championships and be appreciated.
Jared Goof. Patrick Surtain is obviously number 1. Blaine Chalice, like I said, one person that might be better than Sauce is Surtain. JK, a long-time Totem Poller. Totem Pole Nation is better than ESPN. Wow. Watching ESPN, man, I don't even know if it's much competition. Like, those guys, aren't they told what to say and to think? A bunch of Disney guys. J Main Event. I'm loving this show, guys. Let's effing go. Hey, J Main Event, this is for you. Let's go. You know who's saying that is? Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Here it is. JK, Totem Pole Nation is better than Barstool. Well, I'm not Dave Portnoy, and the best thing that ever happened to Barstool was getting John Gruden. So my hat's off to Dave Portnoy and to Barstool. They were the only ones smart enough to get Coach Gruden. Coach Gruden is a beast. He's the best thing going with Barstool today. No disrespect to Dave Portnoy and his pizza reviews and Frank the Tank. Jared Salucci, great show, guys. Amazing. Y'all are amazing. Unlock. Pacquiao versus Barrios. You think who will win? That's a great question. Put it in the comments. J Main, I want to go with you, Brady. JK said fire. J Main event said I'm a Gruden grinder. So am I. We love John Gruden. And that he's the best thing going at Barstool. Blaine, as a Colts fan, screw Brady. Hey, it's all good. Pacquiao versus Barrios. Who do you have, Lambo?
I really don't watch boxing like that, but I assume Pacquiao's probably going to win.
Pacquiao, yes. Pacquiao, baby. Hey, Totem Pole. We love you guys. Y'all the best. Subscribe.